I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay Black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Folks, today's Thursday, October 30th, 2025, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. We're here at AfroTech in Houston, the George R. Brown Convention Center. We'll hear from experts talking about how technology can help you with your budget. Also, the issue of mental health. We'll also talk to Ryan Wilson, of course, with The Gathering Spot, talking about how do we build and grow Black-owned businesses. Cybersecurity is a huge issue. How to protect yourself from being scammed. We have all of that on today's show. Plus, I took a tour of the expo hall, got an opportunity to check out these new software, these glasses from Meta as well as Snapchat. We'll show you some of that as well. I'm going to hop out to the plaza behind me and chat with some folks also in about an hour or so. Plus, on today's show, the Donald Trump-MAGA federal government shutdown hits day 30. And we are just a couple of days away from when SNAP benefits will not go out. And isn't it amazing how all these conservatives now despise folks who are on SNAP, which includes a hell of a lot of their voters. Also, critical races happening in Georgia with the Public Service Commission that impacts your utility rates. We'll talk with one of the candidates on the show. Plus, Virginia delegates are also looking at how do they change their districts in gerrymandering. The House has already moved on that. Lots for us to talk about. It's time to bring the funk right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah.
folks, we're live in Houston for AfroTech 2025. It has been a great couple of days being here. Lots being talked about. More than 15,000 folks registered for this conference. And so we've had some fascinating conversations. We got more to share with you today. So we look forward to all of that coming up on the show. First, let's talk about Donald Trump-MAGA federal government shutdown entering day 30. And now we're facing the prospects of those folks who will not have their SNAP benefits beginning on November 1st, which is Saturday. Now, it's interesting when you listen to these Republicans, look on social media, they are attacking folks who simply rely on food benefits. Many of them, the same white right-wing voters who support the Republican Party. Bishop William Barber, co-convener of Repairs of the Breach, also with the Poor People's Campaign, he talked about how this country, especially these white conservative evangelicals, are leaving the poor behind.
We come here today because our faith demands it. Jeremiah 22 says that when we come to the places of power, we're supposed to say to leaders, rescue the people from the oppressor's hand. We're supposed to say, don't do any violence or pass policies that will kill and destroy people's lives. And we are supposed to have good news and welcome for the immigrant. Our text that Jews, Christians, and Muslims honor tell us that we must care for the least of these. And the question is not, did we pray? The question is, where were we when people were hungry? Where were we when they were thirsty? Where were we when they were immigrants and strangers? Where were we when they were sick? We are called to have good news to the poor. Word literally means protokos, those who've been made poor by economic policies. We also come here because we are saying America must be who she says she is. And who she says she is a place that is supposed to establish justice, not establish injustice. A place that is supposed to promote the general welfare of all people, not the general hurt of some people. That we are supposed to be a place that provides for the common defense, not just the defense of the lobbyists and the defense of the greedy. We have named this bill the big, bad, deadly, ugly, destructive bill because it does not heal, it hurts, especially poor and low-wage people. We know that 51,000 people, according to studies by Yale and Penn, will die as a result of the impacts of this bill in the first year. And in a moment, I'm going to have Hannah read you some real numbers. We declare, Mr. Leader, that this bill and the actions here are morally indefensible, constitutionally inconsistent, and economically insane. Because this bill hurts children. It hurts the disabled. It hurts veterans. It hurts the already sick. It hurts those with chronic diseases. Some of the stories of the millions that you will hear in just a moment. And it is wrong, we believe, for every House member, we don't care what party they're in, if you voted for this bill to take from the most vulnerable and transfer more money to the rich than was transferred from the slave to slave masters. If that's what happened, and you as a congressperson get free health care when you get elected, just because you get elected, you get the top-of-the-line health care with no pre-existing condition, and you're able to pass that on to your family. How wrong and immoral is if you get it and then you don't want the people who elected you to have the same thing.
On Monday, Senate Chaplain Barry Black actually prayed for the federal government to shut down to actually end.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our King, when our children and grandchildren want to know what we were doing in the 119th Congress during the famous shutdown, may we not have to give these answers. I helped set a new record for keeping the government closed. I failed to appeal to the better angels of my nature. I forgot Matthew 7:12, which states, "Do to others whatever you would like them to do to you." This is the essence of all that is taught in the law and prophets. Lord, remind our lawmakers that no gold medals are given for breaking shutdown records, but a crown of righteousness is given to those who take care of the lost, last, and least. We pray in your loving name. Amen.
House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries called out Speaker Mike Johnson, laying out the real reason why SNAP benefits will not go out on November 1st, which is Saturday.
This is day 30 of the Trump Republican shutdown, and House Republicans remain on vacation. They've canceled votes for 5 consecutive weeks. House Republicans are missing in action. Yet, Speaker Mike Johnson is saying the quiet part out loud. It's extraordinary that earlier today, Mike Johnson admitted that Republicans are willing to starve hungry children in this country and take away SNAP benefits starting on November 1st so they can pressure Democrats into gutting the health care of the American people. That's what Mike Johnson admitted to just a little while ago. That's extraordinary. But it's what we know to be the case. For Republicans, from the very beginning of this presidency, cruelty has been the point. And what has been driving their policy agenda is to make life better for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. That's what the one big ugly bill was all about. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripping food away from the mouths of children, seniors, veterans, and families. And all of this was done to provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors. And now, as we approach November 1st, just 2 days from now, the beginning of open enrollment, tens of millions of Americans, including many in the state of Louisiana, are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, co-pays, and deductibles that will bankrupt them.
All right, folks, I'm going to bring my panel right now. Dr. Greg Carr, Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University. Glad to have Greg here. Dr. Nola Haynes, Georgetown University School of Foreign Service out of Washington, D.C. We'll be joined shortly by Eugene Craig, CEO of X Factor Media out of Baltimore, Maryland. It's been quite hilarious, Greg, to sit here and listen to a lot of these Republicans. You take Senator Tommy Tuberville, truly the dumbest member of the United States Senate. How they are so critical of all these people who want SNAP benefits. 750,000 people in Alabama receive SNAP benefits. Then we'll talk about Medicaid as well. So does Tommy Tuberville not think a lot of the folk who get SNAP, he thinks they're not a bunch of broke-ass white people?
You know, I thought about that, Roland. I think we all did. Thinking about a place like Leeds, Alabama, for example. I think it's where Charles Barkley is from. I was past Leeds on the way back to Atlanta. I was in Montgomery, Birmingham, actually, earlier this summer. And I think, what if Charles Barkley had decided not to go to Auburn from Leeds, Alabama, where folks in that little community need assistance? Tommy Tuberville should ask himself a question if he has the mental capacity, because he is not only he's the dumbest member of the Senate right now, Senate, he might be the stupidest human being to ever hold elective office in the United States of America. But I wonder if he asked himself how many of his players at Auburn University came from families that needed food assistance. But more importantly, and I saw Luke Campbell tweeted this out today with attached to this video of him making these stupid remarks. He's saying that perhaps the players, black and non-black, who play for Auburn and a lot of these schools should reconsider going to these schools in states where the people who are elected to office to represent them and help them are treating them as if they are somehow a cancer. I agree wholeheartedly. So all you young people out there considering going to these slave economic concern schools, these SEC schools, you should ask yourself if you want to go to a school that still associates with a racist who is running for governor of Alabama right now, who says that you're sitting on your ass doing nothing, when in fact, in reality, the people he is attacking are his own people, but he's not talking to them. He's talking to you. I think it's time for that. And the only thing I would say is that listening to Judge Indira Tawani, who was on the district court in Massachusetts, questioning the government and saying, y'all got more than enough money to carry this through the shutdown, but somehow you're saying you can't spend the money in the reserve, make it make sense to me. I suspect that the courts might be the one that deliver a victory. And these Republicans are scared as hell because the clock is ticking, and the courts might be the ones who end up saving us in terms of this food insecurity issue.
Perfect example when you talk about messaging and how you must utilize effective messaging. So if I'm Ken Martin and I'm a Democrat, I'm sitting here hammering on social media and everywhere how many people on SNAP benefits in every single Republican congressional district, especially in red states. We're talking South Carolina, we're talking North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Idaho, Missouri, Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota, and you run all those numbers to be able to say, okay, while these people, while they are on all these maggots are on social media trashing these folks, these are the very same people, Nebraska as well, who voted for these folks. And so that's how you throw it in their face, and they should be messaging in those red states to those voters saying they are calling y'all a bunch of lazy ingrates.
Is that directed towards me, Roland? Because I can't really hear.
I said, Nola.
I didn't hear you.
That's no shock, Nola. It's no shock you didn't hear me.
Anyway, so yes, I completely agree with that strategy. Numbers are easy. Data is easy to repeat over and over again. How many people in each state are dependent on SNAP benefits? And also to talk about what SNAP benefits are and what they aren't. Because, AI has already dragged out clips and videos of Black women. The old trope is back again. The Black woman and welfare and all that stuff. So in terms of being very clear about who's affected, who's impacted, and defining very clearly, very simply, what SNAP benefits are and what they aren't. I think that's an effective strategy.
That's what they should be doing, be far more aggressive than what they're doing right now. Hold tight 1 second. We got lots more we're going to talk about, including the crazy, deranged governor of Louisiana, who he's so busy, he's focusing on who's the next head coach at LSU and trying to build a Charlie Kirk statue on campus. Ryan Clark, who played at LSU, had some tough words about that on ESPN, and the MAGA people like Clay Travis are going crazy, which I always enjoy when they lose their damn minds. So I'm going to show y'all what he had to say as well. Lots we're going to be talking about. Folks, we're live here at AfroTech 2025 here in Houston. Going to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
In the military, I gave orders, and they went a lot further than they do around here. If there's one thing I've learned as a mom and foster parent of more kids than I can count, Investing in their future isn't a choice. In Richmond, I'll fight for Stafford's fair share for our schools. Smaller class sizes, better teacher pay, and more vocational training. I'm Stacey Carroll, and I'll fight to get our kids' future in order.
Nicole Cole knows the cornerstone of a successful life starts here. Virginia Public Schools gave Nicole an excellent education. They helped her become a small business owner, family financial planner, mother, and community leader. Now, after 4 years on the Spotsylvania School Board, Nicole is running for delegate to meet the needs of all students. As our delegate, Nicole will fully fund our schools, raise teacher salaries, and help graduating students stay in our communities. Nicole Cole for delegate. For us, for our future.
As a pastor, I hear a lot about trips to the doctor, bills piling up, jobs being lost. So as your delegate, I went to work writing laws that protect families, helping parents care for their disabled children, capping insulin costs, lowering prescription prices, and investing in our police and schools. I'm Josh Cole, and as your delegate, I'm working to keep us strong and safe.
Hi, I'm Lavelle Crawford. I ain't wearing a bow tie today because I wanted to breathe. And you're watching
Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hot shot with music. All right, folks, welcome back. We are here in Houston at AfroTech 2025. We talk about technology. It's not just, obviously, technology companies. It's really how does all of our lives intersect with technology. And there have been a number of folks we've been talking with here, individuals, of course, who are in for-profits, nonprofits, universities, and here. How about social workers? And so that's what the conversation we're going to have. Joining us right now, there's the head of the National Association of Social Workers, Dr. Anthony E. Street. How you doing?
How you doing, Roland? Thank you for having me.
All right, so what the hell are the social workers doing in AfroTech?
So it's interesting, right? So as social workers, we are the largest providers of behavioral services in the United States. So as we're thinking about mental health and the way that people interact with technology, it makes it important for us to be at this space to really think about how we're designing technology and making sure that it maintains that human-centered approach.
So what type of things have y'all been involved here, discussions y'all been involved here at AfroTech?
So we had a main stage conversation on the innovation stage with myself, the CEO of NASW, the CEO of APA, Arthur Evans, and the CEO of NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, to really talk about the full spectrum of mental illness and how technology should be incorporated as a preventive method, but also intervention.
So take that, just take it from here to those social workers. How are y'all working as sort of the bridge as well for them to integrate technology into their work?
So we look at it from a policy standpoint, but also a practical standpoint. So the more that we are thinking about telehealth, the use of virtual reality, the use of augmented GPTs, and how people are engaging with them, it really does give an opportunity for us to be on the front end of that design. So really in prevention, making sure that people understand the risk of engaging with technology and using GPT for like companionship and therapy, but also how can we use VR as a way to help somebody with exposure therapy or PTSD?
Where are they doing it well?
That's a great question. So there are a lot of technologies out there that do really well on prevention and teaching people around meditation and yoga and those preventive kind of measures. We're also looking at technologies that get into the treatment and intervention. If there's an intervention out there or a technology out there that does CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, 9 out of 10 times it's going to have positive effect on the mental health of anybody using it.
For that social worker, they may be overburdened. They may have lots of clients that they're actually dealing with. And so in terms of a ratio, are people seeing folks directly, individually, or are you seeing an increase in virtual?
So we've definitely seen an increase in the use of virtual therapy and telehealth as a result of COVID. And so more people are doing it and looking at ways to have access. So that is one of the things that we're trying to see is like when people do it, how do we do it well? And also, what are those policies that kind of govern it, right? And so as they're rewriting the rules for Medicaid and Medicare, right now there's a requirement that there has to be one in-person session for every 6 months. That doesn't take into account those individuals that live in rural areas where they have to travel far to obtain mental health. And so we're advocating constantly to try to increase access to mental health care, but also making sure that mental health care is accessible to everybody.
You talked about Medicaid, and again, that means that y'all are impacted by this government shutdown.
Absolutely. So as social workers, one of our largest employers of social workers is the Department of Veterans Affairs. And so social workers are impacted, but also those clients that we see in veterans and different communities are impacted because they're not able to access their benefits, they're not able to access health care in that space. And so we have to really continue to advocate and create a space for more conversation around these harmful policies.
Of course, what that also does is that drives up stress levels and things along those lines for those folks.
Absolutely.
Last question for you, and that is, what role are you also playing as folks are developing technology? How do you want them to be utilizing your expertise on the front end versus the back end?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. One of the things that we are looking to do down here is partner and make sure that as we're thinking about technology and innovation, that it has to remain human-centered. I think the second thing that I want to say is that, equity and diversity have to be at every stage of development. So the more that we're thinking about how Black people are interacting with technology, we also have to make sure that Black people are on the design and development of that technology on the front end, not just on the application end. And lastly, making sure that the development of technology is cross-sectional. Everybody in here has experienced mental health on one part of the continuum or the other, right? And so we have to think about it from a workforce standpoint, but also a utilization standpoint.
All right. Well, sounds good. We're certainly glad that y'all are here sharing valuable insight, gaining knowledge as well to bring it back. Last question. How many total members do you have?
So we are the largest professional membership organization for social workers. We have about 110,000 members currently and always looking for more.
All right, then. All right, Frat, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate you.
All right, folks, got to go to break. We come back. I'm going to step out here in the AfroTech Plaza to chat with some folks. We're also going to hear from a budget expert on how technology can help people when it comes to managing their money. In addition, we'll talk to Ryan Wilson, co-founder of The Gathering Spot, about in terms of how do we really build and grow and sustain Black-owned businesses. Cybersecurity is also a critical issue, something else we're going to be hearing from an expert in that area. Plus, Virginia's talking about redistricting. We'll talk about a little bit about that. And then, of course, this Charlie Kirk statue on the campus of LSU. I keep telling y'all, these MAGA people, they believe in their own little gods, and we're seeing that play out right now. So lots for us to cover. Folks, you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Don't forget to support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar you give goes to support the work that we do. You want to give me a cash app, use the Stripe QR code. Just hit right here, bottom left-hand corner. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Of course, checks and money orders make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. Also, we'll be also showing you when I walk the floor of the expo hall, showing you some really interesting technology from the folks at Snapchat and Meta with these creative glasses. So lots to cover here at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, my hometown. We'll be right back in a moment.
Said the quiet part out loud. Black votes are a threat, so they erased them. After the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013, Republican legislatures moved fast. New voter ID laws, polling place shutdowns, purges of black voters from the rolls. Trump's Justice Department didn't stop it, they joined in. In 2018, his DOJ backed Ohio's voter purge system, a scheme that disproportionately erased black voters. Their goal, erase black votes and political power. Yeah, that happened. These are the kinds of stories that we cover every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Subscribe on YouTube and download the Black Star Network app. Support fact-based independent journalism that centers African Americans and the issues that matter to our community.
am Tasha Cobbs, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. But I need a little filter. I need something. Blow me out. Make me look 35.
Folks, welcome back to AfroTech here in Houston. I told you the other day that Louisiana Governor Greg Landry, Jeff Landry, is an absolute idiot. He got involved in the firing of Brian Kelly, the LSU head coach. Now he's like, oh, the AD Bob, AD Scott Woodard is not going to have any role in it. Now he's championing building a Charlie Kirk statue on the campus of LSU. Well, Ryan Clark, who was a star at Louisiana State University, had a few words to say about that on ESPN's First Take.
First off, it's the second most ridiculous thing he said this week. The first was standing on campus and saying he wanted to put a statue up of somebody that doesn't represent the people of Louisiana, doesn't represent the players and the students at LSU, doesn't represent the executives that work there. That was the first dumb thing he said this week. This is the second dumbest, right? Amongst a lot of dumb things that he says. Scott Woodard, for whatever he is a man who got Jay Johnson, right? Last I checked, the 2025 Louisiana State University Tiger baseball team was in the White House getting the GAT recently, right? He was there in 2019 when it's one of the greatest college football teams of all time. He also was there when he said, you know what, we're going to go out and get Kim Mulkey, right? She brings a championship to the school with Angel Reese and with Flau'jae Johnson. And so to me, this is another situation of politicians poking their nose into things that they don't know about. And I honestly believe it was so he can get in front of a microphone and say, look at this connection I have to the president, and he likes to pick winners so he could placate to somebody he idolizes. You don't know nothing about football. There's enough going on in the state of Louisiana that needs to be fixed for its constituents. Well, I don't need you tweeting on Saturday night about what's going on in Tiger Stadium. There is too many issues happening right there under your nose that ain't got nothing to do with sports. Scott Woodard is a good man. Scott Woodard is a man that cares about LSU. In the greatest times, back in the day, he understood what it was like to be a part of a winner, and he's brought more winners back to the school. He didn't miss because Brian Kelly wasn't capable. He missed because Brian Kelly was no longer willing. Brian Kelly was no longer tapped in. Brian Kelly didn't care if the people of Louisiana cared about him, and he didn't care if the players knew that he cared about them. That's where it went wrong. Not in picking a man who was the winningest all-time coach in Notre Dame history. And so for me, it's emotional, clearly, and it pisses me off, but Scott Woodard deserves to pick the next head coach, and the governor should stay out of it.
All right, folks, let's go back to our panel. We're joined by Eugene Craig. Eugene, these MAGA people really are stupid, Eugene. Really, a statue of Charlie Kirk ain't from Louisiana, don't know nothing about Louisiana. And Ryan Clark is absolutely right. And these fools like Clay Travis and the rest of these MAGA people are all upset, calling his comments racist. And no, Clark is absolutely right. We're talking about a broke-ass state in Louisiana, and Jeff Landry should be spending more time on the issues in Louisiana and stop focusing on damn LSU football and a dumbass statue.
Listen, you're dealing with a couple. You're dealing with a couple situations. First and chiefly, Republicans, MAGA world, they're doing a lot around this whole around Charlie Kirk. You got DeSantis and the Florida General Assembly mandating that every college and university dedicate some streets to him. You got, Landry, Governor Landry here, want to dedicate statues to him. But I say all the time on another platform, the closest thing some people get to God is being a victim that can't be questioned. And that's what they're doing with Charlie Kirk right now. He's a victim that can't be questioned. And so they're literally trying to make him turn from God. And the thing is this, what he did when he was on this earth was the antithesis of a lot of the communities, the constituencies, and the institutions that they're trying to force to recognize him and acknowledge him. I would also say that the governor, yes, he has a lot of issues to deal with well before it gets to LSU football. I think LSU and LSU football probably take care of itself. And the thing is, it's also, as these folks are supposed to be small government folk, right? Small government conspirators. I think it's about right that you let LSU handle LSU's issues on their own. For a very long time, Republicans preach government close to the people is best. So let the AD and let the universities find their next book. Stop trying to micromanage.
These crazy MAGA folk, Nola, they really think that Charlie Kirk was on par with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They think this dude is an actual saint. They are outside, as Denzel said, Remember the Titans, you are outside your mind.
Absolutely. And the way that they are trying to make actual racism a non-thing is a part of this that really gets to me. And what I see, this is just signaling, weighing in on what's happening at LSU. I genuinely feel that the governor is doing this because, first of all, he's trying to get the president's attention. And he's also trying to signal that, he's connected. He's talking about this issue. The president's going to chime in eventually. And then, Daddy Trump will give him a gold star. But this is what our politics is today. Get Trump's attention so Daddy can give you a gold star. And I agree with Ryan Clark. Sports are too inundated with these sort of personalities, with these people who own these clubs, who have allegiance to the Republican Party.
Right.
And then that then filters into the way that business is done, where actual Black men regarding football, basketball, are out there putting their bodies on the line for their schools and their football clubs and all these things. What does that say to them when you want to erect a statue of someone who wasn't ostensibly racist? He was. And to make that seem like that's free speech, to demean and diminish the impact of some of the things that he said, basically is just saying Black folks, oh well. Just like the country just wants to let in white people from South Africa. All of these actions are blatantly racist.
The thing for me, Greg, he literally said, let's erect this statue as a symbol of free speech. Like I said before, how about you just do a statue of the First Amendment? I think that's probably the most prominent way to commemorate the free speech.
Yeah. I'll be very clear about what I'm about to say. I embrace them putting a statue of Charles James Kirk up in Baton Rouge at LSU. I absolutely embrace it. And I'll tell you why. The good brother Ryan Clark is an example of just how far we have regressed since the days when Paul Bear Bryant, late of Texas A&M and then the University of Alabama, saw his team defeated by a USC team that featured Sam Bam Cunningham, the brother of Randall Cunningham. And after the game, Sam Cunningham tells the story of how Bear Bryant took him to the Alabama locker room, an all-white locker room at the time, stood him up in front of his players that had just been defeated and said, this is what a football player looks like. Shortly thereafter, if you go to an Alabama football game, you would think it was an HBCU. Donald Trump came to the Alabama LSU football game in 2019 with his picture wife. I don't know where she lives, but I know for that moment she was in Tuscaloosa. And got a standing ovation from the crowd. The following year at the national championship game, when LSU played Clemson, he came to the game and got an ovation from the fans. Please understand, Brother Ryan, I'm with you as far as it goes, but when you start talking about ball chasing, as if it is not part of the fabric of white supremacy in this country, you, my friend, have become a useful tool in the advancement of white nativism and nationalism. Where am I going with this? Put the statue up, baby. And if you are a basketball player, women's or men's basketball, if you are a volleyball player, women's volleyball, if you are a track athlete, if you are a football player, black or non-black, you should then say, I will not play at Louisiana State University. I will not play at Alabama University or Auburn University or the University of Tennessee or the University of Georgia. You see, what you got to understand is that sports is at the heart of white supremacy in this country. Ever since they had two black men slapping the hell out of each other on a plantation at the roots of boxing. I want a statue of Charlie Kirk up. Because if you remember what happened the night before James Meredith integrated the University of Mississippi, it was the governor of Mississippi, Ross Barnett, who led the pep rally for segregation as they waved the Confederate battle flag. And if you know about Ole Miss, you know that while those black players continue to feed the maw of Mississippi, they have a statue of James Meredith on that campus that was found wearing a noose. And the young American Negroes continue to chase the ball up and down the field for Ole Miss. Until we revive our self-respect, not only will they put up statues, they'll do it with a couple of Negroes who will key behind the racist president of the United States and his 90,000 seat ballroom or whatever, 90,000 square foot ballroom, and say, I sure is glad to be here, boss. Y'all stop going to LSU and watch how fast they change their tune. In fact, put together finally a little checklist, a little 10-point checklist. And at the top of your checklist is the bag. We know y'all, they buying football players. Okay, no problem. Number 2 is diversity. If this school that I'm about to sign with for $500,000 or $50,000 or $150,000 a year and NIL deals doesn't have as number 2 a percentage of black players that I'm satisfied with, I'm not coming there. Watch how quickly Ohio State and Michigan and USC, watch how quickly the University of Kansas and now Indiana University, watch how quickly Nike U and Oregon make diversity a priority, and watch the Confederacy die until they do the same. Let's get serious about this. I'm sorry, Ryan. You chase ball for a white supremacist, brother. And until you deal with that, I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
And on that note, we going to a break. When I come back, I'm going to be live for the plaza out of here. We're going to have a lot more interviews here from AfroTech. Folks, you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, and higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
If in this country right now, you have people get up in the morning and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power, that's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
Next on The Black Table with me, Craig Carr. Why the America we live in today is not what the founders intended or what they outlined in the Declaration of Independence and even the Constitution. Professor and author Kermit Roosevelt will join us to talk about his book, The Nation That Never Was. how history was misinterpreted, the intent and realities of America's beginnings, and missed a much better story in the process.
So if you have to pick some group to marginalize, I think it should be the people who are against equality.
That's next on The Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
This week on A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie, we're continuing our series of putting in the work, A Chef's Journey. Are you an aspiring chef? Someone who already has a business, trying to figure out what your next steps will be, who to talk to, and how to get there? Well, on this week's show, our great guests and wonderful chefs will talk to you about what it means to discover your purpose, your why of being in the kitchen, and then knowing how to put a business together.
The menu controls everything. The menu determines everything. But the business plan is where you have to go back to.
When you get into the business, at the end of the day, you know, social media and TV, all of that stuff is cool, but you still have to run a business. You still have to be in relationship with people.
That's all next on A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie here on Black Star Network.
They said the quiet part out loud. Black votes are a threat, so they erased them. After the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013, Republican legislatures moved fast. New voter ID laws, polling place shutdowns, purges of black voters from the rolls. Trump's Justice Department didn't stop it, they joined in. In 2018, his DOJ backed Ohio's voter purge system, a scheme that disproportionately erased black voters. Their goal, erase black votes and political power. Yeah, that happened. These are the kinds of stories that we cover every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Subscribe on YouTube and download the Black Star Network app. Support fact-based independent journalism that centers African Americans and the issues that matter to our community.
How you doing? My name is Mark Curry, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Deep into it, like pasteurized milk without the 2%. We getting deep. You want to turn that shit off? We doing the interview, motherfucker.
It's been the center of activity. You see, you got all the couches out here. You see folks out here just chilling, relaxing. You got the tent, you got the Lexus tent over there, and then of course you've had all these other different vendors out here. You got all the food trucks that are down there as well, and so it's been a whole lot of activity that's been going on. So you know what? Let's just talk with some people who are here and see what happens. How y'all doing? How's it going? You're good? We're live on TV right now. So let me ask you, first of all, who are you? Where you from?
I'm Deja. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
My name is Olivia. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia.
Cool. So tell me about this year's AfroTech. Your thoughts on it?
I love the inclusivity in a space where we usually don't have this type of representation. So that's been exciting.
Yeah, and it was great. I got to meet with coworkers. I'm a fully remote employee, so it was wonderful to just meet people in person for the first time and connect and just be around all the energy.
Gotcha. Your biggest takeaway, your number one thing that leaving here that would drive you, I say, over the next 362 days.
Wow. Well, shout out to Sandra Crespo. She actually did a session here on neurodivergency as a leader. And again, that's also a very underrepresented sector in the industry that we work in. And so I am taking away that people who have diagnoses like ADHD, those are things that are not seen as deterrent from becoming a leader. Those are things that you can use to leverage yourself into a space that ideally people don't fit into.
And I think for me, it's to question things, stay curious, ask questions. I listened to a speaker this year and last year who said, if you have a question, it's probably because you have part of the answer too, so stay curious and keep asking. So, yeah.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, y'all take care. All right, then. All right, enjoy. Let's go on down here, y'all. Let's check with, what's up, guys? How you doing? What's your name?
Quentin.
Where you from?
Pittsburgh.
How about you?
My name's Hassan.
Say it again.
Hassan.
Where you from?
From Pittsburgh.
All right, then. Just give me your thoughts on this year's AfroTech.
It's my first time as well as Hassan's, and honestly, it's a very, very good event for my first time too, because I made a lot of connections, and I'm in college.
Where?
University of Pittsburgh, and I'm very happy I got to be here. It's a blessing because I made a lot of connections and learned a lot. So yeah, and I plan to go next year as well.
It's here next year.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. How about you?
He downplaying it, man. This is lit. Being with my people, being with all my people here. I've never been to an event like this with a whole bunch of black people who's interested in the same things, you know, tech. Network with a lot of people. Got a whole bunch of like internships and job offers lined up. So yeah, without this event, I don't know what I'll do. This is a good opportunity for young black people.
All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, bros. Y'all take care. Thanks a bunch. All right, let's go on over here. Now, these folks, they stand in line for photos, y'all. So let's go ahead and holler at them. All right, since all y'all just waiting on photos, y'all ain't got nothing else to do. I'm going to ask y'all a couple of questions. What's your name? Where you from?
Yolanda Collins, and I'm from the Bay Area.
Cool. How about you?
Simone Austin from Durham, North Carolina.
Cool. And your thoughts on this year's AfroTech?
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it. It grew from over the years. I've been following AfroTech for a long time.
And how many times have you been to the conference?
3.
3.
Yes.
This is my first time, so I was very blown away. It's a lot of people here, so I'm looking for a job, and it's been really good. I met a lot of great recruiters, so it's a fun time.
All right, cool. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. All right, how about y'all? Where you from, bro?
I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Gotcha.
My name is Abdul Hakeem Zongo, but I just go by Hakeem.
First time at AfroTech, or you been here before?
It's my very first time out here.
All right, so tell me about it.
It's going great. It's a lot of networking opportunities, a lot of businesses that you can connect with. I love it. I'm going to probably be here next year, too.
All right. Sounds good. All right, how about you?
Oh, my name is Monte from Houston, Texas. Yeah, AfroTech's been cool.
Your first time?
Yeah, first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What stands out in terms of what you learned here?
Probably just meeting different types of people from different types of walks of life. You know, some people established, some people trying to get to where they want to get in life, and then, yeah, different states too. So, you know, just not encapsulated in Texas or Houston specifically, but just meeting all sorts of people.
All right. How about you?
I'm Jalen.
Hold on, bro. Oh. No, we're live on TV. Hold on. Hold on.
I'm Jalen. I'm from Houston. It's my second time here. Fun time always. Great networking with people. That's all I got for y'all.
That's all you got? All right, cool.
How you doing? Isaiah. I'm originally from South Bend, Indiana. So Boilermakers stand up. One thing that stood out to me is just taking away unapologetic nepotism. So just making sure we lift as we climb and we practicing black excellence.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. All right, then. All right, you're here at AfroTech. It's your first time. What's your name? Where you from?
That's not my first time. It's like the third year. But my name is Bo. I'm from Dallas, Texas. And what was the other question?
You said it's your third year at AfroTech. Yeah. Just your thoughts on this year's edition.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You know, I always love the expo. You know, time to get out there, network, meet new people. For me, it wasn't even about, you know, job hunting or anything like that. It's just meeting a lot of cool people in tech, you know, and things like that. Okay. But I was trying to get you because I'm Payo, man.
I got you, but I'm also live on TV, bro. I feel you, but it's like I'm also working. I got you. All right, then. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What's your name? Where you from?
Kanisha Aiken. I'm from Houston.
H-Town. First AfroTech?
First AfroTech.
Your thoughts on it?
Amazing. We'll be back every year.
Gotcha. So what stood out? What was it?
The community, the information, the community more than anything. Just there's a sense of innovation, creativity, and community.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, it's back here next year for the 10th anniversary.
I heard. I'll be here, without a doubt.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I'm going to chat with, let's see here. I'm going to grab these two right here. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's your name?
Lawanza Quince.
Cool. What's your name?
Akira Calico.
All right, then. So, first AfroTech, or you been here before?
Before.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How many years? You were there last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, how did you enjoy this year?
Oh, I think it's phenomenal. It's a real good opportunity to socially and professionally network with your peers.
How about you?
This is my first year as a student here, and I think it was very resourceful and very impactful for us students to get opportunities to gain insight with all of the companies here.
Gotcha. So what's the one thing that stood out? Was it a speaker? Was it a session, a forum? What was it for you?
One thing that stood out to me was all of the recruiters were not just being very informal and being just very strict business-wise. They were actually giving us opportunities, how they came up in life within college or starting off, and I think that was pretty good with giving us some tips.
How about you?
For me, it is corporations' dedication to providing job opportunities in the face of the want of DEI opportunities. And so that shows you how proactive and conscious the business community has been with minorities in the greater Houston and nationally throughout the country.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. So again, you've had a lot of folks who've been here, and we've talked to many people over the last few days. And understand, as we said, what you've got is you've got a lot of corporations that were here last year that did not come back this year, this whole anti-DEI deal. And so we need to make sure that the people who did not support this conference, also not supporting other black conferences, other expos and things along those lines, we need to be calling those folks out because, again, they want us to continue to use our money to support them. They should be supporting us as well. Also, what we have to also learn to do, and a lot of these conferences and conventions, I've seen a lot of people on social media, Essence, folks talking about Invest Fast and other things. Here's the deal, understand. One, there are very few mass gatherings of African Americans, events like this here. The ability to be able to come to a place to connect with peers, other professionals, is hugely important. And so I think we need to be mindful of that when a lot of people are running their mouths about, well, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. The question always, what have you put on? What have you actually done? And so we've got some other great conversations we've had. We're going to be showing those a little bit later. And so we're going to be showing that because, again, great expertise, great knowledge. And as Kathy Hughes said at Radio 1, information is power. And we got to be able to take that information, places like this, bring it home, share it with others, to expand the horizons of so many African Americans. Going to go to a break. We come back more from AfroTech here in Houston, the George R. Brown Convention Center. And I'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
In the military, I gave orders, and they went a lot further than they do around here. If there's one thing I've learned as a mom and foster parent of more kids than I can count, investing in their future isn't a choice. In Richmond, I'll fight for Stafford's fair share for our schools. Smaller class sizes, better teacher pay, and more vocational training. I'm Stacey Carroll, and I'll fight to get our kids' future in order.
Nicole Cole knows the cornerstone of a successful life starts here. Virginia Public Schools gave Nicole an excellent education. They helped her become a small business owner, family financial planner, mother, and community leader. Now, after 4 years on the Spotsylvania School Board, Nicole is running for delegate to meet the needs of all students. As our delegate, Nicole will fully fund our schools, raise teacher salaries, and help graduating students stay in our communities. Nicole Cole for delegate. For us, for our future.
Josh Cole became a pastor and delegate to serve his community. That's why Josh is fighting to lower costs for families hurting from inflation and make sure we can all afford quality health care. But Sean Steinway has embraced his MAGA backers who support Trump's mass firing of federal workers and the MAGA plan to ban abortion with no exceptions. We deserve better than Sean Steinway.
I'm Josh Cole, candidate for delegate, and I sponsored this ad.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
as an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol. We've seen Shutdown.
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear.
Hi, my name is Freddie Ricks. I'm from Houston, Texas.
My name is Sharon Williams. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Right now, I'm rolling with Roland Martin, unfiltered, uncut, unplugged, and undamn believable. You hear me?
Folks, we've told many of you elections are critically important, every single election. And in Georgia, they have races for the Public Service Commission. This is going to be on Tuesday, okay? And so these are not sexy races. They're not president. It's not U.S. Senate. It's not Congress. It's not the governor. But it is really important for your everyday well-being. Alicia Johnson joins us right now. She's a candidate running for the Public Service Commission. Glad to have you on the show. For the folks who don't know, who don't understand, what exactly does the Public Service Commission do in Georgia?
Well, the Public Service Commission, first of all, thank you, Roland, for having me. Let me start by saying that. I certainly appreciate you helping us getting the word out. But the Public Service Commission is an extremely important regulatory authority that exists in Georgia and in many states. And their primary job is to regulate utilities and to protect consumers. And this includes
again, and so
we pay for those utilities.
And for the folks who don't understand, when you're complaining about your utility bills, then you're complaining to the Public Service Commission.
That is absolutely correct. And here in Georgia, Roland, we have an all-Republican Public Service Commission who has raised our rates 6 times in the last 2 years.
You know, and that's so important because, as I said, it's not a sexy race. It's not a big race, and turnout is going to be critical. This is a perfect example of what I keep saying, that if black folks in Georgia, if we vote at 70% of our capacity, then we can put folks like you on the Public Service Commission.
Absolutely, absolutely. To your point, it's not a sexy race, and a lot of people don't even realize what the Public Service Commission does. So this race is extremely important. Here in Georgia, 47% of our population is asset limited, income constrained, working families. If we look in rural communities, that goes up to 52%. And when you crisscross urban areas like the city I live in, Savannah, childhood poverty jumps up to 80% in some of those cases. So every day, families are making choices between their power bill and prescriptions, their power bill and food. And now with the issue with SNAP, it's going to be even more crucial that we have people in elected offices and elected positions who understand that good public policy is not red or blue policy, but good public policy is people-centered policy. And we have to begin to put people over profits.
Questions from our panel. Nola, you first.
Thank you so much. This time in our country, I can't really stress how important it is to get people out to vote. We talk so much on this show about voter turnout. So what is that looking like as we are going into these special elections? What is voter turnout?
Yeah, we can do far more with voter turnout. We have done an amazing job given what the context usually looks like for some of these smaller special elections. We're about at between 5 and 6% overall in the state. And with a little over 200,000 folks having already voted. We know that in portions of our state, municipal elections are going on, so we expect greater turnout in those areas. But we need to get the word out. We need to mobilize people as much as possible. We've been on the phone, we've been texting, we've been mailing, we've been, of course, doing media interviews. We've been out across the state canvassing. We've been talking to communities and trying to get the word out so that we can teach people that they are literally advocating for themselves from self to system every time they take a vote.
Eugene.
Hi. Well, thanks for running. Thanks for running. You know, we need folks in these positions, especially when it comes to public utilities. You know, some of these utilities come just run out of control. I guess my question is, you know, are there any national orgs act organizations coming in to help fill that gap, being that it is an off-year election, and then more importantly, it's an off-year election in a place where, you know, folk aren't necessarily used to off-year elections.
Right. So to answer that question, I would say yes. The DNC has gotten involved in this race. So the Democratic National Committee has committed itself to this race, but also our local party, Democratic Party of Georgia, it has been organizing and getting the word out about this election. And then all across Georgia, grassroots organizers, volunteers have all rallied together to stand behind this race and to push it forward and to make certain that people are aware and that they understand that they have the power to elect a commissioner who is a regulator and not a rubber stamp for our utilities.
All right, then. Well, Alicia, good luck. Again, this is one of the races. People need to understand it's a statewide race. We can actually play a huge, huge role in it. And so good luck on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you, Roland, and thank you for having me tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Folks, I am looking over some, give me 1 second. I'm looking at, lots of changes happening at CBS in this just in. Variety is reporting that Gayle King will be departing the CBS morning show next year. Of course, Barry Wise took over as editor-in-chief. You have lots of changes going on there as well. And so they are reporting again that Gayle King is going to be leaving CBS this morning next month. Also, some breaking news. The Associated Press is reporting that the Department of Justice is investigating the Black Lives Matter movement. They said that, give me 1 second. I'm pulling this up here. First of all, subpoenas were issued, and so they're claiming that donors were defrauded out of services based upon those donations. And so we'll keep a tab on that as well. When we come back, more from AfroTech, including how to budget your money, the importance of black-owned businesses. We'll also take you into the walk and talk and the expo as well. So lots to share with you right here. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
What's good, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh, and you're watching my brother Roland Martin Unfiltered as we go a little something like this. Hit it. It's real.
Tech in Houston. Been having some great conversations. We want to share more of those with you. And a great conversation with a high-ranking exec at Google talking about their Pixel phones. And, of course, we had a little fun. Consider y'all know I'm Team Apple, and she's Team Android. Check this out. All right, Adrian, let's talk Google phones. So, y'all, we're sitting here getting ready to do the interview, and Ben Crump calls me, and she's like, you really should have a Pixel phone. It really is the best phone.
It is superior.
She was being extremely shady with that.
I'm just here to tell the truth.
So
it's on the table. I'll let it ride.
So how is the Pixel phone the best?
The Google Pixel phone. So first of all, I lead marketing for the Google Pixel organization, and there are so many ways. So you might want to just start by saying the winner of the best phone, which is like judged by technical experts, best phone 2 years in a row, Google Pixel. Okay? It is.
But how is the best? What does it do?
From a technology perspective, the camera is the best camera in the business. And you can do, when you start to add Gemini, if you start to integrate what Gemini can do for your camera. So we've always been the best camera. I think you know that.
So we got Gemini, we got Aquarius, we got Leos.
So
I'm a Scorpio.
Our generative AI is called Gemini. Now, what is true is
y'all gonna name AI something I call Scorpio? Yes, I got Scorpio.
You know what, I'm a Scorpio, but the answer is Gemini. And so what Gemini does for your camera is it makes it even better.
Okay.
We also have a tensor chip that allows your phone to be faster. The battery life is stronger. The hardware is differentiated, so our hardware and craftsmanship is incredible.
Y'all AirDrop.
That, first of all, unacceptable. That is an Apple feature, and Apple features aren't everything. I will tell you something about Apple, and normally as a competitor, we don't like to say each other's names, but I do, you must say their name. We are the challenger brand, which I personally as a marketer have always loved. Mm-hmm. But if you think about things like AirDrop or FaceTime, there is interoperability challenges that Apple creates. So the whole green bubble, blue bubble drama, that is created by Apple.
That person with that green bubble in the group chat.
That is not their fault. That is Apple's fault. So that you have a poor communication experience. Our technology is superior, and truly, people on Android are being bullied because of it. So if you have done that, and by your face I see that you have, apologize.
Oh, I'm not apologizing.
To your Android
I'm not
friends.
Apologizing.
It is Apple ruining the group chat. Okay, and if you're at a party, what do they say? Does anyone have a Pixel to take the pictures?
Nah, that's the first of all. That's people who do not take photos. Okay, that's people who do not take photos. Because my man Steven Soderbergh, he shot that movie High Flying Bird. It's a Netflix movie.
Yes.
Phenomenal movie.
Yes.
With 2 iPhone 7s.
Yes. Advertising. He got paid. Yes. No, I know.
But the filmmaking piece, and that was pre-cinematic feature.
Correct.
So first of all, I'm always jacking with my Android friends, because I was actually YouTube Black at the conference, and they gave us a Google Pixel phone.
Yes. Did you use it?
Oh yeah, I use it for the teleprompter.
Unacceptable. We are not making fast friends right now.
I use it for my portable teleprompter with the app. But the reason for me, okay, you understand. So for me, how I use it, I'm using technology way different.
Okay.
So we're sitting here, boom, she goes and shoots something, boom, she can instantaneously AirDrop it to me. I got it. I can immediately put it on the air.
Yes.
So, and how I'm transferring data or whatever. So that's sort of how I'm moving when I'm linked.
There are other ways to.
How? Walk me through. So
you can use Google Drive. Everybody has Google Drive.
Right, but that's like I gotta.
You're dropping it into AirDrop. You can drop it into Google Drive, and then you could share the drive, and everybody has the same files. And what's different about how
Adrian, you adding all kind of steps. You adding steps. See,
sometimes
I'm looking at speed.
Okay, but
efficiency.
but what we like to look at is speed, efficiency, but quality. And I guarantee you the content you're capturing on that phone, and I'm sad my Pixel is not on this table.
Yeah, where your Pixel?
The content, it's right there. The content that you're getting on your
bring
phone
that Pixel over here. Bring that
could
Pixel over
be
here.
better, but you're choosing to follow the crowd and do what everybody else is doing. And this is not how it strikes me with you, Roland. You strike me as a man that makes decisions on his own.
I do.
I did not think this was going to be this interview.
I'm not choosing to follow the crowd. What I'm saying is, again,
you could use this.
Okay, you go.
And also, aesthetically, it's better.
Okay, here we go.
It's sleeker. It's smoother. The camera is better.
Take my
Gemini,
case off,
all look at that.
Look at
that.
Here. I got a sleek phone.
And from an AI perspective, it is integrated into our device because of our stack. So it works faster, it understands you better. And so when you're in Gmail, or if you're in Photos, wherever you are, it knows where you are, what you need, before you even know it. It anticipates your needs.
I don't really need AI because I have RSM. So
What does
Roland Sebastian Martin.
I knew it.
I don't need
That's
to. Right.
Okay.
Most boom. I'm quicker than Google, so we ain't got to search it. We already got. See, when the information is already here, we ain't got to search for it, Adrian.
Okay. Noted.
See, this speed is way faster.
If we did a 6-month test and we came back to this stage and you gave me an A/B test recap, I guarantee you this would be a different.
What I'm telling you is, I'm trying to tell how I use. I mean, literally, if I'm talking about, so I can sit here and take, boom, Shih Tzu something, give me that SD card, pop it in here, pull it right into the phone. I can go right to the air. I'm connected already.
Yes, but you do
I can do screenplay. I can sit here
Can I give you an example?
Go ahead.
So Complex Media.
Yes.
Okay, so we outfitted all of Complex Media with the Pixel 10 Pro.
Complex Media, who wants to act like they black owned, but they're not black owned. They're just black targeted. But go right ahead.
That was
I told you.
Shady. Equal opportunity.
Oh, my audience knows I'm King Petty. My audience knows I'm King Petty.
Okay. All right. So we gave Complex our phone.
Right.
They're doing exactly what you just said.
Okay.
It's all an ecosystem. So to not switch just because you're locked in, which is what they do, just because they've locked you into an ecosystem is not a reason. The Complex team's content is a higher grade now. They would tell you that because they're using our devices.
They just don't really know how to shoot. See, I mean, see, I went to Jack Yates High School, Magna School of Communication.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I've been doing this since I was 14.
Right.
So they late. See, if they were taught right at an early age, their stuff would look better.
Fair. I'll let the head publisher know.
Yeah, let them know.
It's them.
Yeah,
not the phone.
Tell them look at Roland Martin Unfiltered, the Black Star Network, see how it's done.
Okay, I will do. I will do.
So what else? So in terms of marketing, what else are you driving, and how are you trying to? First of all, let's talk about the phones, though.
Yeah.
How it shoots black people.
Oh, I mean, we have a feature. I didn't even tee you up for this one. So what?
I told you I don't need the Google stuff, Adrian.
What is very special about Pixel, and in all seriousness, Android. So I am new to technology. I came from the sport industry. I was at Nike for many years running North America. I was at Under Armour, Target, Gap, so consumer-led brands. What brought me to Google when they recruited me was the idea of their values and belief system, which is all about equity and accessibility, right? Google's about being helpful to absolutely everyone. And so when you look at the features that live within our device, we are making features so that everyone can see themselves.
Got it.
And that is something that I have always been very passionate about in storytelling. We need to see ourselves, and it's something that does not happen with a lot of the competitors in the space, but it is something in our make that we deeply believe in. So we have a feature on our device called Real Tone. And I wish I could show you the A/B on your phone versus ours, but it is built to pick up deeper hues, basically black and brown folks, who when you go and you take a picture with your white friends and you see your eyes and your teeth because your camera isn't picking up your beautiful skin tone, Real Tone, only found in Google Pixel and in Android devices, is built to pick up our tone, our color, and make us look as beautiful as we are and feel as proud as we are.
See, I shoot some. All my friends are black, and I shoot some.
If all your friends are black, you want this.
But I shoot some great photos.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
My lighting is amazing.
Okay, but your friends who are not as good as you
Oh, they know.
would feel the difference.
They're like, let Uncle Roro shoot. We know.
There is something, in all seriousness, about leading with our values. And this is what Google is about.
Okay.
We are entrepreneurial. We are always looking for what problem needs to be solved.
Okay.
And I'm dead serious when it comes to accessibility and equity. Everybody should look good. Everybody should feel good. And it is true that a lot of camera technology is not built to pick up our skin tones. And so you can rest assured with our device, you are going to look stunning. And that is not a line.
So here's the whole deal. First of all, it ain't like Apple is not a sponsor. Their CMO won't even take a meeting with me.
See? And look at us
Which
here right now.
I told Spike Lee. That whole deal. Tim Cook, you know that too. And so, I have no problem.
Shots are fired.
I got no problem calling names because I don't have a boss. I own it. So here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna test a couple of your phones. So I'm gonna give you my information.
Okay.
Then we'll see what it looks like. Then I'll let you know.
We are always game.
Anthony will be using one of them as well. And so.
So you'll have an ecosystem
Yeah.
in which you could share content.
Yeah. We'll look
Call
at
me and
ecosystem.
say thank you whenever you're ready, because it is coming.
She already had thank you. She already had thank you. So we'll see how that goes. Well, cool. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
It was wonderful to meet you.
Likewise.
All right.
All right, Adrian, I'm waiting for those Google Pixel phones so I can do a test, see how they work. All right, y'all, got to go to a break. We come back. Ben Crump stopped by our set here at AfroTech. You hear our conversation talking about the Sonia Massey verdict. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Stud Network. Support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing on average $50 each a year. That's $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. You want to give via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here in the bottom left-hand corner. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Checks and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. Back in a moment.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, and higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network.
Me, Sherry Shepard, and you know what you're watching, Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Folks, welcome back to AfroTech 2025 here at the George R. Brown Convention Center. We're joined now by a resident of Houston. He got out of Florida, attorney Ben Crump, coming here dressed like he going to a FAMU game.
Go Rattlers.
What's up, man?
You, man. Welcome home, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. We talked the other day. We got a verdict in the Sonia Massey case. Should have been first-degree murder, but the jury chose second-degree murder. Now the question is whether he gets sentenced 4 to 20 years in prison, will the judge do probation or whatever. And so when we talk about justice, justice is not the indictment. Right. Justice is not the conviction. Justice is also the sentencing.
Amen. And Roland, we have to remember this video told the whole story.
Yep.
I mean, oftentimes we talk about mens rea, what's the mindset of the person when they commit the crime. Well, we don't have to speculate here, Roland Martin. You heard what his intent was on the video.
Yeah.
He said, I will shoot you in your effing face. You see him come around the counter.
Yep.
I believe, Roland, because she was so short.
Right.
And she only weighed 111 pounds. So he said, I will shoot you in your face because they're taught to shoot center mass, but the counter was blocking center mass.
Yep.
He stepped around the counter, shot her in her face, and then, Roland Martin, he said that he wasn't even going to use his medical bag for the crazy bee. If that's not telling us what his mindset was, I don't know what is.
Then he goes on the stand and lies.
Yeah.
I mean, says she threw the pot at him. I mean, dude, we have the video.
Yeah.
She doesn't throw the pot at you. Come on.
Yeah, and Roland, what's so troubling about it to me is even worse than George Floyd. That was a call saying there was a criminal act. Here, she called the police. They knew there was no criminal activity.
Call the police believing there was a prowler.
Yeah, and she ends up dead. And it was so hard to sit in the courtroom and watch the video, even though I saw it 1,000 times, sitting in that courtroom, listening to his mother weep and his father talk under the breath while blood is pooling from her head. And I'm looking at those 11 white people and that brother, and I'm thinking, this is clear as day. This is straightforward. It doesn't get any simpler than this. So when they started deliberating for the second day, Roland, I said, oh my God. Oh my God. What were they deliberating between first and second degree murder, or was it second degree and an acquittal?
Right.
And I was reminded, Roland Martin, who the president is and what they think.
Listen, that was I'll never forget, it was I think Connecticut or Delaware. This brother had his hands up, he's going down to his knees, and the cop literally rears back and kicks him in his head and knocks him unconscious. On dash cam video, clear as day, hands up. Brother is not resisting, go to court, he got acquitted. I mean, that's what we're still facing in this country is that there are juries, especially white juries, that are going to give cops every benefit of the doubt. And I still believe, and I've said this numerous times, one of the reasons that these police keep doing this, because they know it's likely they can get away with it.
Exactly, Roland. And when you think about Sonia Massey in particular, you have to ask yourself, what was it, how they could justify his actions? I mean, the judge kept out the fact that he had been, fired or transferred for 6 jobs in 3.5 years. That didn't come in. And so you're saying, would that have made them say this guy should be convicted of first-degree murder? I was asked a question, and I said a funny lawyer joke, not to take away the seriousness of the issue. They said, well, Attorney Crump, this is the first time a cop has been convicted of second-degree murder for killing a black woman in American history. How do you think we get that? I said, it's simple. You have a first-degree murder case, and then the predominantly white jury will give you second-degree murder. And we don't take any of this for granted, Roland.
Right.
That's why I thank you, man. Most people have forgot about Sonia Massey. And if we didn't have black media, black social media saying her name, white mainstream media have forgot about it. It wasn't until the conviction they started covering it.
I had a woman come up to me last year thanking me for when I recite names for mentioning John Crawford.
Yeah.
John Crawford III.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the thing that what I keep also telling our people, and I'll have people who tell me, man, that stuff is triggering. And I keep saying, listen, I understand how you feel it's being triggering, but the reality is I go back to what Emmett Till's mother said when she said, no, I want them to see what they did to my baby. The reality is if we decide to stop showing it, then it becomes, it never happened.
Yep.
And the reason the body cam footage is so important, Grayson didn't turn his camera on.
No.
The only reason we know what happened because his partner turned his camera on.
Officer Farley. And think about what his testimony was, Roland Martin. Officer Farley said that I pulled my gun because he pulled his gun. I never thought this small black woman was a threat. He said the person I feared was Grayson.
Right.
And none of that seemed to compel the jury to say this is first-degree murder.
And that's why what has to happen, and we talk about...
Can you imagine, Roland? Can you imagine if that was a white woman?
Oh, first of all, we ain't even having a conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line, that's first degree. But here's the other thing. If that was a white woman, the partner would have said, "Man, what are you doing?" See, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that is bothersome for me. In those moments, where does the cop with common sense go? Man, holster your weapon.
Yeah.
Put the gun down. That's what has to happen. Yeah. But and there's some case videos out there where a cop checks another cop, but it's rare. They will stand back and allow somebody to beat somebody knowing it's not right. Well, I didn't want to intervene. You got to intervene at the moment.
Yeah, and you know, Roland, that's deep what you say, and we've been covering these now for almost
13 years.
Yeah,
Trayvon was 2012.
Yeah, but you know, we covered a couple before that. You remember Martin Lee Anderson boot camp case?
Yep.
The reason why I think so many cops hesitate from intervening, because then they turn on them.
Yes.
I mean, you remember the sister up in Buffalo, New York?
Yep.
Stopped the cop for beating the black man, and then she got fired, lost her pension.
Yep.
I mean, it's, as they often say in the neighborhood, the baddest gang in town is the boys in blue.
Yep.
And so it all goes down to this here, Roland. We got to keep covering it, because we got to show up to that courtroom, show that judge that Sonia Massey life mattered, that she was loved, that her children deserve justice, and look him in his eye and dare him to do a downward departure, because that's what they're asking for.
We were here at a technology conference, and the reality is, if it's not for technology, if it's not for citizen cameras, if it's not for body cameras, we would have more cases of cops lying.
Yep.
Walter Scott.
Yes.
We would have cops lying on the reports.
George Floyd.
My life was in danger.
Yeah.
They pulled a weapon out.
Yep.
But because of technology, it's hard for them to counter. In Chicago, probably Laquan McDonald. The cops were breaking the dash cams, the antennas, because they did not want it recorded.
Yep.
And so that's what we know in New Orleans. I remember the case where the cop turns the camera off. Turns the camera off before he gets it, because he knew what he was about to do. And so, and I keep saying, the technology has to protect numerous folks.
Yeah, and Roland, it's deep, because you go down a rabbit hole. I think about technology, and I remember when George Floyd said, what was the difference between Rodney King and George Floyd? It was that the Apple iPhone camera got a lot better, and we got to see George Floyd vivid, graphically, firsthand. But then I'm so happy you brought up that we're at AfroTech. We got called, and I don't know whether it's a case or not, but I'm still going to fight, even if we don't make a dime. The young brother who the AI
bag of Doritos,
and they thought it was a gun, and then they go accost and throw him down. How many brothers and sisters are going to get wrongfully convicted because AI still has the human factor? Racism in, racism out.
Yeah.
So that's why we need AfroTech.
Yeah. So we have to be, we have to be absolutely vigilant in this. Not only that, with AI, it could claim you committed a crime when you didn't.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about criminal justice, social justice reform, it has to happen there. And so we can't afford a day off. We can't afford to say, man, let's just step away from it, because in the case, that brother could have lost his life over a bag of Doritos.
Yeah. Yeah. And Roland, that's why you're going to be so busy, brother. And I love you, man. You know that I tell you every time how much I respect you for having black-owned media that tell our stories unapologetically, because right now we're going through a wave of white supremacy that I've never seen. And just like they have beliefs in their white supremacy, we have to be unapologetic defenders of black life, black liberty, and black humanity. And that's what you do every day, every show, every location. So, man, keep that roll machine moving.
Yeah, you know we're going to do it. It's sitting right out there right now. It's a perfect example. Last point, I saw this the other day. I guess Jake Tapper was doing some interview claiming that, well, the reason Gen Z is more conservative is because they had BLM and Me Too being shoved down their throats. That's why they're more conservative. And I'm sitting there going, no, Jake, you got that wrong. What you don't understand is that if you are Gen Z, that means you between 13 and 25, that your parents did not like. I keep reminding these people, the Black Lives Matter protest was the first time in American history a black-centered protest a majority of Americans approved. And what happened was you had folks who did not like that young white folk, and Latinos and Asian Americans were responding, and they attacked BLM in 2021. It was CRT in 2022. It was woke in 2023, and it was DEI in 2024. And so they've been inundated by saying how awful that was. So I was like, Jake Tapper, you know what the hell you talking about? The reality is BLM woke a lot of people up. Trayvon woke a lot of people up. Jenna 6 woke a lot of people up. But you have adults who do not want these young white kids to be socially conscious about what's happening to black bodies.
Now, you speak truth to power on so many levels, because right now it's just an outright declaration of war on everything black and brown in America. And what we have to remember is what Harriet Tubman said, Roland Martin, I saved 100 slaves, and I would have saved 100 more if they knew they were in slavery. Some people still don't understand. They have declared war on us.
Absolutely.
And we better be ready to fight. And if you scared, say you scared, and that's fine. We get it. But get out the way for those of us who ain't scared to go ahead and fight for our people.
Get the hell out the way.
Amen.
Well, Ben, you keep swinging. We're going to be right here doing the same.
All right, Alpha Man.
I appreciate it, sir.
All right, love you.
All right, folks. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network right here. AfroTech 2025 here in Houston. Back in a moment.
Next on the Black Table with me, Craig Carr. Why the America we live in today is not what the founders intended or what they outlined in the Declaration of Independence and even the Constitution. Professor and author Kermit Roosevelt will join us to talk about his book, The Nation That Never Was. How history was misinterpreted, the intent and realities of America's beginnings, and missed a much better story in the process.
So if you have to pick some group to marginalize, I think it should be the people who are against equality.
That's next on The Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
Hey, I'm Mark Morial, President and CEO of the National Urban League, and I'm watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Tech 2025, we're here at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston. Glad to be here. Cybersecurity is a real issue. Y'all know, some of y'all out there, y'all have clicked on the wrong damn email. You're getting these strange Coinbase text messages. You're getting messages saying that you bought something, then you, I don't know what this is, and you call that number, boom, they got you. And so it's really important in today with technology that we protect ourselves at all costs. And my next guest is someone who knows a little bit about that. She is the founder of Peachy Geek, Dakota McDonald. How you doing?
Doing really well, Roland. How are you?
Great. All right, so first of all, how did you get involved in cybersecurity? Did you stumble into it, or did you say, you know what, you were 6 years old, I really want to do cybersecurity?
Yeah, I don't come from a family that knows much about security, but my family did know a lot about hard work, and I got my start doing a lot of service work as a firefighter EMT. And that gave me that penchant for being, of service to other people. And I've always been interested in technology. And so my, path sort of led me to cybersecurity, being able to be of service. But I'm a creative at heart as well. And so that's kind of where Peachy Geek came from.
Well, first of all, it's crazy now. I mean, literally the scams, everything. We were talking yesterday. And, I get this message saying a WhatsApp account was created. And I'm sitting there going, well, how in the hell can you create a WhatsApp account with my phone number? And all these different ways. And scammers, technology has made scamming so easy. We thought the phone call scams and the email scams were crazy. Now with phones, texts, and now all the social apps, talk about how really wild it is, and how for folks like you, it's constantly trying to stay a step ahead of these folks.
Yeah, absolutely. With the rise of AI, it's really easy to create different schemes to get people's credentials, get their name, image, and likeness. And more importantly, too, get your time and attention. And in a lot of ways, with the rise of AI, it's getting harder and harder to spot, those different phishing attacks, as we call them in the security world. A couple of different ways that you can protect yourself, but as that's getting harder, you can utilize, AI to be able to help you with that. Different things that you can spot. For instance, the link itself, does it look like a reputable link? The sender, is that somebody who you're familiar with?
Yeah, I get those, especially the people who invite on podcasts. And so, again, you're looking at the markers. It's like, Dear Roland Martin, okay, right there. And it's always the same form. So what I do is I'll click the email, and I'm like, Chelsea Handler's show is not sending me an email from some Gmail account.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of these folks I know. So I think one time I got an email from the Joe Budden podcast. So I text Joe, Breakfast Club. I text Envy or Charlemagne. So it's happened so many times. And because it's a form, now I laugh every single time. And then what gets me is the third email. You didn't respond. No, dumbass, I didn't respond because you're not real.
Right. And you're not doing a really good job at trying to convince me of it either. Right. But you bring up a good point of trust but verifying. So reaching out to the people who you know and saying, did you send me this? A lot of ways, that's the best way to protect yourself, is tapping into that verification.
But also just study the forms that they use. And so wait a minute. This email looked the same as 4 other emails I got. Nah, that says, and then of course, anytime when the email, when it's Dear Roland Martin, nobody sends an email with the full name.
No.
And so they're just things like that I'm always looking at. And what I said to you yesterday was, when something comes up, my first response is not to press.
Right.
The first response is, this look kind of fishy. So now I'll check the email, I'll check all these different things, and I will never click anything in that email because that's going to take you somewhere else.
Right, and like we talked about, it takes your time, it takes your attention, but you bring up another great point of being able to look at those behavioral-based indicators of how people communicate. Threat actors, as we call them in the security world, they tend to be a little bit more formal in that way of addressing you, because they don't want to set off any alarm bells, But as humans, we have that natural sniffer that we can identify whether or not something is suspicious or malicious. But like we said, it gets harder and harder with AI to kind of keep on top of that and identify. So it's an ever-evolving process for both sides. But I think as we see threat actors get more and more sophisticated, get more and more creative, because that's only natural, we'll see technology, be able to cushion that blow with humans ourselves being able to be more educated on these different concepts of security, like phishing and getting links over social media, which is a really big breeding ground for cyber-based attacks, because they want your credentials, they want to assume your identity, be able to speak on your behalf. And you got to be as stringent as possible to knock it out.
You get a DM. Hey, there's a security issue. Click this link, and then if you click it and you open it up, and it's username and password. I say all the time, the moment you click anything and it's asking for a username and password, stop right there.
Right. And also too, being able to look into, you brought up another good point, all elements of that email. So the sender of the email, the domain of it. If I'm getting an email from Microsoft, let's say, for instance.
Right.
But this is coming from a Gmail account, I know that's not legitimate.
Right.
And also, too, I shouldn't be receiving an email at 2 o'clock in the morning, to give any sensitive information, no banking details, nothing like that. I'm not giving any of that government-related information.
Right.
Yeah, to somebody I don't know, especially on the internet.
And so share with folks how you take Apple, you take other companies. They have built-in security features. Google as well. I think I checked. I wanted to see who was trying to get into my email, and I forgot what I went through. I was talking about Digital Guy, and we went through, and it was same thing. It was like at 2:30, at 2:48, at 3:15, at 3:30, all these different, and I'm looking at the country of origin, all this sort of stuff is kind of like, yeah, I see what the hell y'all were trying to do. And that's one of the things you can tech. So let's talk about two-factor authentication. Should folks do that?
Absolutely. Yes, multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication is that second layer added step of being able to say I am who I say I am. And a lot of ways threat actors are taking advantage of that with QR code-based attacks, where, for most individuals, most businesses, unfortunately don't yet have multi-factor authentication set up. So with that, you'll have these threat actors send emails on behalf of their IT or on behalf of Microsoft, let's say, for instance, or, just try to get the individual to set up multi-factor authentication as a consumer, when in reality, they're not Duo, Microsoft Authenticator, they're not, Okta or Cisco. And what they do from that is, you set up that spoofed multi-factor authentication, you give them the credentials, so now they have that one-time passcode.
Boom.
To use and have your resources.
Right, absolutely. And, okay, so you have that. Now, there's been a raging debate in one of these group chats I'm in, because some people use their cell phone as the notification versus their email. Which one should folks actually use? So when we need to send an alert, is this you?
Yeah.
Is it better to do with the email or the cell phone or through a text?
I think it depends on the person, whatever they're most comfortable with. So most individuals, text is the best way to reach us. Me personally, if I'm going to get a multi-factor authentication, I prefer to have it from the app itself that I've set up as my authenticator. Also, one thing to mention too, you brought up with Google, the security checkup, which they'll take the users through to be able to see whether or not they have those two-factor authentication set up, best password policies, whether or not that's in place. Another good area for users to, make sure that they're hygienic, if you will, with their security on Google. But I like to use the apps specifically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, what about the authenticator apps? So let's say you're able to put in, so again, I'm going to say just Google Authenticator, so you can put in Dropbox, Twitter, whatever, then all of a sudden, when they ask you to authenticate, you got to go to that number and then put that in.
Right. Yep, that's exactly the process. That's what I use myself. And it's a bit of a bear. It's a bit annoying, but if it's going to protect me in the long run of not having to lose all of my data on Facebook or Google or Dropbox, then I'd rather take, the 10 seconds to put that password in that says who I say I am.
So let's talk about passwords. A lot of people have real simple passwords. That's easy to get into. What does it make sense for someone to sit down and come up with a 12-letter password that has exclamation points in it, one in it, ampersand in it, and of course you need to save it so you know what the hell it is.
Right.
That makes a hell of a lot more sense than just real simple words, things along those lines.
Yeah. One thing I would recommend is using Google's password manager. Google is the only one that has one. Apple has it as well, where it'll create very complex special character
Apple be like,
passcodes.
Do you care to use a strong password?
Right. And it'll save it automatically to your iCloud account. Personally, that's something that I think is a great option if someone can't think of something, a passphrase, for instance, that they want to use. But in other ways, I highly recommend people to get creative and, think of passphrases to themselves that they like to use, but be unique, because if you think like a threat actor, if you want to get into somebody's account, you're going to think about the things that they're most interested in. You're going to think about their pet names and, what street they grew up on. We all get those security questions for the verification. So personally, for me, I'd rather just, in the day and age of the internet where I have social media and it's easy for people to know what I'm into.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, I'd rather have something else create my password that's going to be very hard to crack.
Absolutely. A couple more questions. One, VPN. Explain to folks what that is. And for those of us who travel a lot, you're in airports, you're in hotels, you're using Wi-Fi networks. Now these folks are stealing stuff by plugging into USB ports in airports, whatever. Does a VPN make sense? Well, the person don't explain even what that is.
Yeah, so a VPN is a virtual private network, and it creates an encrypted tunnel for individuals to be able to use the internet, use their resources without the information being easily encrypted by a threat actor.
Is it a device or is it on the computer?
It can be both. It can be on a device or a computer. It's a service as well that can be offered that's available for any type of device.
And so if you use a VPN, you're using that to be able to access the internet, and how's it protecting you?
Yeah, so it masks your IP. So for instance, if I'm in Chicago and I want to be able to get on Netflix and watch something that's maybe based in another country, I can utilize a VPN and select the country that I want to, mask that I'm from, and be able to watch whatever TV show or movie that I want to do. That's, in a nutshell, what VPNs are.
Okay. Any other basic principles that people need to be utilizing around to protect themselves when it comes to cybersecurity?
There's a couple of things. One, I think cybersecurity falls back on, like I had mentioned previously, having that trust, but the verification of the information that you're reading, what you're taking in. Is it legitimate? Is it, is that integral, or does that information, is it authentic is the word that I'm looking for. Cybersecurity starts with ourselves, making sure we're doing the best we can to be protected. And little things of setting a multi-factor authentication for your social media accounts, for having the default not to click on links, no matter where they're delivered to.
Right.
Social media or email. Those are likely the biggest things you can do. And especially when it comes to the cell phones as well. You see a phone call that you don't know who it's from, don't answer it.
Yeah. Because they're hoping they want to record you saying hello.
Right.
And because now, we're operating now with AI, and they want to be able to mimic your voice, because sometimes folks use their voice to be able to access their accounts, stuff like that.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Well, Dakota, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. And great tips.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Folks, that is it for us tonight from AfroTech. We got lots more content we're going to be sharing with you on tomorrow. But that's it for us. And I am actually going to be speaking tomorrow night. We have a guest host tomorrow. I'm speaking tomorrow night, giving the keynote speech at the National Panhellenic Convention happening here in Houston. So I look forward to giving that speech on tomorrow night. I might see y'all in Atlanta on this weekend, the National Association of Black Journalists. We got our board meeting there, so I'll be in Atlanta for the weekend. Don't forget Monday. We got 2 shows on Monday, 11 special edition, y'all, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30. We're going to be live from Suffolk, Virginia. We're going to be, of course, focusing on the Virginia races. Then Monday night, we're going to be live from Virginia Beach, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss that. So, again, live in Suffolk, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Monday, live Virginia Beach, 6 to 8 p.m. Then, of course, election night takes place on Tuesday. We're going to be broadcasting live as well. We have live coverage right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. So lots and lots and lots to uncover and unpack, folks. We appreciate Morgan DeBond, the whole team at Blavity and AfroTech for their hospitality. It's been great covering this over the last few days. And so, again, we met some great people, got some great content as well. Folks, don't forget to support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Your dollars make it possible for us to do the work that we do. If you want to contribute via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here, bottom left-hand corner. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You also, of course, check some money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. 6. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. You also, of course, be sure to get a copy of my book, White Fear, The Browning of America's Making White Folks Lose Their Minds, available at bookstores nationwide. Be sure, of course, to also support get our Roland Martin Unfiltered Black Star Network swag. You can get that by going to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Shopblackstarnetwork.com. Also, support the black-owned businesses that we have on shopblackstarnetwork.com. By going to our marketplace. So all those products you see are black-owned companies right there on Marketplace. And so you see all the products there on the desk. Get all those products right there, shopblackstarnetwork.com. And, of course, also support fan base. They've raised now $13.5 million. They're $3.5 million away from hitting their Series A goal of $17 million. If you want to invest, go to startengine.com/fanbase. startengine.com/fanbase. Folks, that's it. I will see you. Hey, y'all, we got this. We got a new shot, y'all. We got an 18-foot crane. So now we've been real fancy. And so we really doing up. So I'll see you guys tomorrow right here, Roland Martin Unfiltered on the BlackStarNetwork.com. That's it for us from AfroTech in Houston. See you next year for the 10th anniversary. Holla!